Hello and welcome back to the next session on SQL. Hopefully you've managed to evidence all of your learning so far. Something which I am going to do is just head back over to the slides very quickly, as there have been a few changes in here since you started this lesson, and obviously this isn't going to affect you too much because by the time I finish writing this you would have seen everything which you are going to have to evidence as you go through. Now this is currently loading, so whilst we are waiting for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our database. Now most important thing here is that you know how to start up your database, so we are going to type in service mysql and start. You probably don't need to look at your notes because you now to our we're going to view root enter our path, and then first thing we're going to want to do here is have a look at our databases. So we are going to type in show databases, not forgetting our semicolon, and these are the databases that we were working with last time. Now I was looking at the patient database when I was demonstrating skills in the last video. I'm going to type in use and then the name of my database, and then I am going to press on enter. Now that we're inside this patient's database, we are going to want to have a look at a few different skills in today's lesson. Now, as I kind of said, I made some adjustments here when I've been recording this lesson on databases and SQL. So you are going to be having to evidence screenshots, so do have a read of what's in red, and also read what you're having to evidence with your pair as you're doing this in pairs. Everything counts for 50% of your topic 9 grade, and again I'm going to be going through this, or your other teacher is going to be going through this with you in class, so you are able to have a really strong understanding on databases. Now what we are doing in today's video is we are looking at the skills which are mentioned on this slide here. Now at IGCSE you need to be able to use key SQL query statement select from where order by, which we're going to do now. And then we're also going to use this link to help us also use average, sum, and count. So let me escape from this, and we are going to have a look at how we can get started. So I'm going to scroll down to my notes and then use these things with you. So first up we have got select. Okay, so I'm going to do select, and I'm going to say all from, and we need to think about what the name of our table was that we created. So we're probably going to want to know what that is at the beginning. Now I'm pretty sure it was patient information, but we probably want to be certain before we make a start today. So in order to start, we can type in show tables, which must be in uppercase as it is a function in SQL, semicolon, and it is patient information here. So what we are going to want to do is try to find some information inside there using those key statements select, from, and where. So again, I'm going to type in select star, which is all from, and it is patient information, where, and we are going to do, let's have a look at our different fields in here. I'm pretty sure we had first name, okay, so first name equal to, let's say Bob for now, and see if we have anything in there with the first name Bob. Now you can see at the moment it says first name not there because I don't remember the different heading names inside my table. So probably what we want to do first is use that describe table function that we used last time. So I'm going to type in describe, and we're going to do name of table, which is patient underscore information, and then semicolon, and these are all of the different headings. Now that I know this, I can press on the up arrow key twice, and I can change the name of the field that I was just using. and it is going to be patient, and then it's going to be underscore first name. Now, if I remember rightly, I was actually inside this database. I used myself as an example here. So I'm going to type in Rob, hoping that I'm still in there and I didn't delete myself, and enter. And it still says unknown column Rob in where clause. Now, I'm pretty sure that I was in here. So I guess what we want to do is look at how we can also display all of the data inside this table. And then we will be able to write some better SQL queries. So still using that key terminology that we need to use for SQL queries, I'm going to say select all, and I'm going to say from, and it's going to be patient information, and then I'm going to press on enter, and we are going to type in order by, and it is patient underscore first name, semicolon, and then we're going to be able to see what data is in here. Now we can see here that if I expand my window a little bit, this will probably be helpful for us. And let's just run that query again so that's a bit tidier. There we go. We've got Bob, Jamie, Rob, and Terry. Now again, I'm going to press on that up arrow, and what we want to do is have a look and try to display patient first name Rob. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change my query, so I can't actually find out why this isn't running, but we're just going to change our field name and kind of come back to this problem in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to be patient ID, and we are going to say that the query is patient ID is greater than, let's say, 1, and then semicolon here. And let's see if this returns anything. Now, what we're able to see is that it does return Bob, Jamie, and Terry if the patient ID is greater than 1. So we're able to demonstrate how to select, from, and also where. Now, let's come back to that query again with Rob, and let's have a look to see if we're able to actually find out what the issue is. And if I can't find a problem, we're going to have a look at our data types, which are on Google Slides. So we've got where patient first name, and we're saying equal, and Rob didn't work. So let's try doing Rob inside single quotations and see if it returns anything. And there you go. This is what I was missing. And sometimes learning on your feet, okay, you're going to learn lots more about SQL when you are writing queries such as this, and you're probably going to end up knowing a lot more than me. But here's an example of how to use all of these different things. Now let's go back over to Google Slides and have a look at the skills that we have to be able to demonstrate. And I'm going to demonstrate how you can write some other queries inside here. So select from where. We have used order, but I'm going to explore this in a bit more detail. And then we're going to also move on sum, count, and average. So let me exit this, and let's have a look at the other types of queries that we can write here. So we want to be able to write queries that have multiple conditions. So I guess what I'm saying is I want us to be able to show and search for information in multiple columns here. And I guess the best thing for us to do to begin with is to have a look at the AND statement. So what I'm going to do is order everything out by first name so we can see a complete database, and we can see at the moment that this is failing, which is super annoying. So let's try one more time. Still failing, so let's find out why we can't display information within our table. So I am going to be looking for a command which says not describe employee table. That's wrong. We don't want to do show tables. Let's run the command like we did before, which was select star from patient information. Enter, and then it is going to be order by first patient first name. And you can see I was missing the select before, which is why it was not working. Okay, so that didn't work because I'm missing my semicolon. And let's press up. one time for this, and then order by patient first name, and here we have our data. Now I'm going to go full screen again just so it's nice and clear for you, and we're just going to press on that up arrow. So we are going to do select from patient information, then order by patient first name. So a bit more visible for us now. Right, so as I said, we want to be able to write multiple conditions inside a single query here. So if we're going to do this, maybe we can have a look at patient doctor names, and also if patient ID is more than 2. So how would we write a query with multiple conditions? So I'm going to type in here, select all from patient information, and we're going to say where patient underscore ID is greater than 2, and this is that condition, right? We know and or are not logic, so both of these things are going to need to be true, and we are going to use patient doctor name is equal to, and if we're using somebody's name, we need these single quotations, so Mr. Sam, and then at the end, semicolon set condition. Now, if we're looking for more than 2, we should be seeing Jamie's record being printed out with ID 3, and also Terry. Let's give this a go. And here, we've actually only got Jamie being printed out. Not sure why it is not printing out patient ID 4. Let's change that condition, and let's try to use a greater than or equal to 2. And I can actually see the problem now. This patient is actually with Mr. Tony, which is why. Let's have a look what happens if we add this, and there we go. So greater than or equal to 2. Notice when I type in the greater than symbol and equal to, it automatically changes it into this symbol here for greater than or equal to 2. And this is now a query which has multiple conditions, but notice because we're using the AND operator, both of the conditions need to be true. Now if we press up again, we can also use a OR condition and have a look at our results. And here we're able to see all records because patient ID greater than or equal to 2, or patient doctor name is Mr. Sam. This returns everything because although this query is not greater than 2, we're saying or patient doctor is Mr. Sam. This allows for actually everything to be displayed. Now I want to use the not option as well. So I'm going to say if it's greater than or equal to 2 and not patient doctor equal to Mr. Sam, the only record that we should be seeing when we run this query is going to be Terryson. So if I press on enter, oh, this didn't like that, so let's run that again. So patient information greater than or equal to 2, not patient doctor equal Mr. Sam. So there might be a couple of logical issues with this, and let's try to find out what that is. So I am going to head over to SQL, and we are going to have a look on W3 Schools at how to use not, because the query which I'm using here is not allowing me to use that not condition. So let's check out some examples here. So we've got an or, and if we keep scrolling down, we've also got a not. Now maybe I need to have a where condition here. You can see I've already got it at the beginning over here, but let's see if I add another one in here. I very much doubt this is going to work, but let's try. So where not patient doctor name equal to Mr. Sam. Yep, still erroring. Let's try to simplify this query a little bit, but just by having one condition in here with not. So we are going to delete the first condition, and we're going to say where not patient doctor equal to Mr. Sam, and there we go. So it is working when we're stating it as a single condition, but it doesn't like it when we're using it with two different conditions here. Now, I'm not going to explore this in any more detail at all, but I am going to ask you to explore it in a bit more detail and see if you can produce a query which has two conditions and where we're also using not, and this would be great for your evidence. Now, for queries, the last few things that we're going to have a look at is how we can use count, average, and also sum. And this has taken a little bit of playing around, and you have to make sure that you don't have spaces within your queries. It's just learning how to write SQL queries from scratch. So what we're going to do here is we are going to write a couple of conditions. The first one is going to be count. We want to know how many patients are in a database. We're going to say select, count, and patient ID. You need to make sure there is no space after count, or this is going to fail like it did for me. So we're going to say select, count, patient ID. And if we now say from patient information, semicolon, it's going to show that there are a total of 4 patients in our database. Next one which we want to do is we are going to do select and let's do sum patient IDs. So we're going to add up all of the IDs. You're going to have to make sure that these are integer values in order for this to work. We're going to say from patient information, so adding together 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're getting an answer of 10. Last one, which we do need to have a look at here, is average. So I'm going to press on up, and we are going to do AVG for average. So select average patient ID, and that is going to be from patient information added together is equal to 2.5. Now, as I said, it took a little bit of playing around for me, so I do hope that this is super useful, and we are going to move on to the next part of the session here. Now, as I said, the last thing that we have to look at here is data types. So the link on this Google slide is super useful for you. We have looked at how to create new databases, set up tables, and also use things like SHA and also varchar. So I'm going to leave you for this video today, and you can explore field types, or we can say data types, okay, by yourself, and do have a look at how we can use things like Boolean, integer, real. Everything is linked here. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you're able to answer more activity tasks, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session. And I don't know what we're going to be looking at next. I think that you're going to be completing some of these activities here, kind of losing my words a little bit at the end of the day. So queries for patients which you have created. So this we've looked at already, writing SQL queries for these different activities as well. So these are all things which you should be able to do at this point. And I think that is pretty much it for now. So again, looking forward to seeing you in the last video soon.